This knowledge I'm going to read to you is about twin rays. Twin rays. And the knowledge is found in the voice of the I Am magazine, number 3, published at the Cinderella Studios, 2600 S. Hoover Street, Los Angeles, California, May of the year 1937. This knowledge is given by the Ascended Master that we know as Jesus the Christ. It's part of his discourse, and it was Easter sunrise service discourse in Oakmont Country Club, Glendale. The date is not given here. Part of the discourse, if you continue reading, and you will reach to page number 9, where the discourse or the knowledge is given about the twin rays. And it goes, twin rays. The Ascended Master's explanation of the law of the mighty I Am presence concerning twin rays is very definite and unmistakable, plain. It is one of the things mankind need to understand very much, and if understood would prevent a great deal of mankind's distress, most of which occurs through ignorance of this mighty law of life. It is imperative that every I Am student know this activity of the great law of life and give obedience to it, if he is to have his complete freedom and the ascension. When individualization from out of the great central sun takes place, the first activity is the formation of a body made of substance that looks like white fire. From this white fire body, two rays are projected, within each of which is an electronic body, one with the masculine qualities predominant and the feminine submerged, the other with feminine qualities predominant and the masculine submerged. Each electronic body projects down into the substance of this physical world attributes of itself, much as the roots of a plant go down into the earth. These attributes, acting through the human flesh body, form the intellectual and heart or feeling consciousness of the individual. This portion of individualized consciousness goes through many physical embodiments, sometimes masculine, sometimes feminine, many times alternating. This re-embodiment of each ray takes place again and again and again, sometimes hundreds and sometimes thousands of embodiments. It continues until each individual manifests complete control in all outer physical activities of all energy and substance. It is through the individual that the selective, discriminating, consciously directed intelligence acts to govern the flow of the universal substance and energy. This means the attainment of mastery over what? Mastery over substance and energy by the conscious command of the individual through the use of the great creative word, I am, given by himself. This is the journey every individual has chosen to take of his own free will. through this world of physical substance to expand the perfection of the great central sun through himself. This means through a physical body made of the atomic substance of this physical earth. Each one, having decreed his own journey through the world of physical substance, must fulfill his own decree. For being the creator individualized, he is the only authority in his being and world and must fulfill his own plan to expand perfection through himself in this world. This is how the great supreme source of all life and manifestation governs the universe and its activities through the individualization of itself at various points in the universe. Thus, every human being is the creator, individualized, which means all the authority, power, ability, and attributes of God, life, are focused into the individual to create and expand perfection through a physical body. When each ray has, through many embodiments in physical experience, expanded into full activity all the attributes of itself, manifesting complete control over all substance and energy everywhere it moves, then the ascension takes place. The ray that started out in a masculine body makes the ascension in a feminine body. The one that started out in a feminine body makes the ascension in the masculine body. Thus is the perfect balance always kept. When the ascension of both has taken place, each is the complete balance of all masculine and all feminine qualities within himself. Then the threefold flame of life is completely unfolded. The individual becomes master at cosmic levels of creation and does work with systems of worlds as well as in this physical world. Thus, that which comes out of the great central sun as one flame becomes three complete flames, each of the same, full, limitless power and activity as the great central sun. This becomes the cosmic activity of the power of the 3 times 3. The electronic body is the power of the 3 times 3 for the human personality, consciousness. When both rays have made the ascension, then the individual works with systems of worlds instead of just in one world. This is the way the Godhead is ever expanding the perfection of itself throughout infinity and keeping order throughout interstellar space. Thus the perfection of the scheme of creation is magnificent to behold. Consistent, credible, satisfactory, immutable, and beneficent always. All manifestation of and in the universe is based on the control and direction of energy, which is life. People, of, People often think if we are the Godhead individualized, the substance is from God, the energy from God, which after all is but another name for life, and God is all perfection, all good. Then how does it happen that discord is manifested here on earth and destruction seems to have such a sway at times throughout the earth? The Ascended Masters say the human intellectual consciousness, through using only a few of its God attributes, has the capacity to form judgment and conclusions just from the reports of the physical sense, without taking into consideration the full knowledge from within the electronic body, which is the supreme cause and all-knowing consciousness from the great central sun. Thus, if the intellect wants to know the law of the universe above it, then it must call forth and use the intelligence which controls the above itself, that above itself. Thus, the human intellectual consciousness has only fragmentary information upon which to make its decisions. Unless it calls for the full information to manifest perfection, it falls short of the perfection which is within life and which should be expressed, because it has forgotten to keep its attention upon the supreme source of its being, the electronic body, and use all of its attributes, of its God attributes. The intention of the intellect has been focused into the world of form or upon the things of physical world most of the time. The rays of light, which are life, flowing down from the electronic body into the physical body, do the same thing for it that the rays of life from our physical sun do for the planet life of our earth. Because all expanding of perfection on any plane of life takes place by the projecting down of life energy through radiation from that which is above into that which is below. All is constant raising, expanding activity of perfection. All energy and substance forever act under law, but they do not discriminate. The discriminating intelligence is located and acts through the individual who says, I am. Returning to the twin rays, we want the student and readers everywhere to understand that the supreme purpose of every human being's physical embodiments is to attain the ascension as soon as possible. For that is the full expansion of the individual's perfection into and through the substance of this world. Everyone must do this sometime, somewhere, and each one will continue to embody until he does accomplish this. The first commandment is the whole of the law of life. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Whatever our attention is on is our God for the moment, because wherever our attention is, there our life energy flows, and whatever the individual gives his life to is his God. Since the electronic body is the source of physical life, then nothing should ever come before it in our love or activity of life. This is why the ascension is the whole purpose of the physical embodiments, and winning that victory should be the main business in life for every individual. If the student wants to find out who his twin race is, instead of completing his own decree to make his ascension, then he is not serving the light which is his mighty I am presence by placing it first. Hence, he disobeys the very first law of life he has made for himself and which rules throughout infinity. When an individual seeks his twin ray, the feeling that is impelling that one is but of the outer or physical consciousness. It matters not whether it be for companionship or what is the desire within the individual. It is physical body consciousness, and whoever dwells in that or seeks to find permanent happiness there must someday be disappointed, because it's but temporary. Therefore, it must have beginning and end. That which is in obedience to the law of life is perfection, therefore, permanent happiness. The source of permanent happiness is the mighty I am presence, and when the individual makes his ascension, he not only attains permanent happiness, but he frees himself from all limitations and in harmony. Then he can give assistance without limit of any kind to all he contacts. He becomes all the word master implies. He becomes Lord of life and victor over all in this world. Now we come to conditions that are pitful of unhappiness for thousands of people. Everyone craves happiness and feels that he has a right to have it, which he has. But permanent happiness does not come from the outer activity of life. Never did, never will. It only comes from the mighty I am presence, because it is the source of all life, therefore all happiness. It does not make the least bit of difference how harmonious and happy you might be with your twin ray if you did meet in the physical life. If one or the other should be married to someone else, and obligations have thus been assumed, do not think for one moment that you can push those obligations aside and cause unhappiness for others just because your twin ray comes along. You must carry out that which is a service you voluntarily assumed. The sinister force, through the centuries, has used this very excuse to get individuals entangled in just such conditions, to create discord for as many as possible. That is why there is such distress in the family relationship of most of mankind today. That thing must stop now and forever if human beings are ever to get out of the chains of their own misconduct. Please remember, blessed ones of the light, no one in this universe knows who his twin ray is but the mighty I am presence and the ascended masters. No unascended being can ever tell you, so do not let any human being, yourself or anyone else, ever make you believe anyone is your twin ray. If it be necessary for you to know, Saint Germain or Jesus will give you unmistakable proof. Even if you met your twin ray and knew the full truth, still that one must never come before your mighty I am presence and the victory of your ascension. So long as human beings keep their attention upon and crave body sensations, even though that be mental companionship, just so long will they stay in the slavery of fear, doubt, lack, misery, tragedy of every description. The one who wishes to be free from those channels of suffering must look up to his mighty I am presence and calling unto it to take complete command of all outer activities. Give it unconditional obedience. This will allow it to expand full mastery and perfection through the human personality, and thus the individual attains his ascension. The source of each one's own life must be placed before the gratification of the desire of the body, if anyone is to ever have permanent release from suffering. The condition is the same as if an individual built, finished, and supplied a beautiful home for someone he loved. If the one using the home became so absorbed in the care and worship of it that she forget to give any recognition to the giver, the supplier of the home, the giver would certainly withdraw and all would crash into ruins. So it is and has been throughout the centuries with all mankind. Human beings have become so occupied with the sensations of the physical body and its demands that they have forgotten entirely their source, the purpose and objective of life. They have forgotten what they themselves have decreed for this physical life. Hence, all discordant experience are but constant spankings to awaken the human intellectual consciousness to obedience to the heart for the fulfillment of life's plan, which everyone who comes into this world has chosen to accomplish. More than 75% of everyone's life energy is located in the emotional or feeling body. Until that is all surrendered into the management of the electronic body, which is its source and the owner of all energy, misery and limitations will go on because the law of life is not being obeyed. The law of life everywhere in this whole universe is to give back to the source of our being the ever expanding perfection from within the heart center of life. This means the complete control of all life energy at all times, for only then can perfection get through. Therefore, the duty of the I Am students is to live in such close companionship with the presence that every outer activity is the expansion of its perfection. As that is allowed to take place, the body automatically becomes purified, luminous, and free from discord. Hence, its ascension into full mastery and the divine plan of life is fulfilled to the eternal, ever expanding joy of the individual himself and the blessing of all else in the universe.